You're watching Wiswomen. I'm your host, Jodie Arnold. Today on the show, we have Kes Albright, who's an activist and organizing fellow for Next Gen. Thank you for being here, Kessa.
Thank you so much for having me, Jodie.
Yes.
This is great.
So first I want to chat about Next Gen because I don't know if it's new to the area, but I had never heard of it before. So I'd like to know like how you got involved in that and like what exactly you guys are up to.
Yeah, great question. So we started organizing in June this summer in Eau Claire. I'll do like a quick rundown of what Next Gen is. So we're the largest youth organizing group in the country. We work to get young people registered to vote, and we give them like the tools that they need to resist things that are happening in our political sphere and make a difference in their communities.
Okay.
Yeah. So how I got involved was Tasha, my regional organizer, and I like planned an event for the College Feminists, which I was president of last year, fall through the spring. And we had like a spoken word night. She helped me table at that event, and then she recruited me for the fellowship. And we actually did a training session in Detroit at the beginning of the summer. It was really fun. I've never been there before. It's called Camp Next Gen, so it was like a big training, big party with like all of the awesome organizers and activists in 11 different states where they're working to like impact their communities and get young people out to vote. So yeah, that's what we do at Next Gen, and it's a great time.
So what are examples of tools, like the whole idea of resisting?
Yeah.
And is it like, what exactly can you guys help young people? Is it like access to information or?
Yeah, it's like a really big, like broad spectrum of what we do with Next Gen. We like work to engage young people by having them register to vote, first of all, and then helping their friends register to vote. Like we recruit volunteers to help us do things like tabling at different community events, having a table on campus, just being there for people to register to vote and like commit to vote and commit to like doing these things and having these conversations that will change the future of our democracy. Yeah.
And so is this something you applied for and that you have to get accepted into? Like,
Yeah.
Is there a process where if people wanted to get involved, is it like a job?
Well, for the fellowship, we're looking for fellows and organizers like all across the state of Wisconsin and in other states as well. So if like any recent grads are looking for something to do and just feel like they need to mobilize their community and like find the activists in them, like definitely apply to be in one of those roles. But if you're just looking for something low-key, like want to volunteer, you would just talk to one of your organizers or talk to me or one of our other fellows in Eau Claire about doing that. Some of the things that we need help with is just like going door to door, talking to people, especially with the primary coming up, making sure that they are going to vote and know where they're going to vote. And we have like these commit to vote cards that people sign, and that's also how we get volunteers. So yeah, and we do a lot of stuff on social media. We're out there spreading the word. Yeah.
So you mentioned College Feminists,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the first ways you and I met each other. How long have you been involved with that, and like what do the College Feminists do? And this is at University of Eau Claire, just so I can be specific. But is it a really active group, and have you noticed like it's gotten more active again in the past few years?
Yeah, so I've been involved pretty much since like my first year at Eau Claire in both the College Feminists and the other progressive organizations on campus. And I took a leadership role a couple years ago, I think spring of 2016, and then I was hired as a full-time organizer for a campaign in the fall, so I had to take a semester off, but the leadership on campus while I was gone was awesome. They held a big tampon drive. We collected like over 1,000 pads and tampons for local women's shelters, and when I came back, we just started having events, spreading the word, having meetings, meetings are a really important part of like what a student org does, just to keep people engaged and like have a space for people to like come and discuss different feminist ideas. It's also a space just to talk about your experiences and kind of like process that, and it's great to have like just a community of young women and young feminists support each other like that.
And can anybody go to a meeting, or do you have to be a student?
No, we welcome community members too. Any students, community members, we have faculty come sometimes. And yeah, I'm not sure like when the meetings are going to be this semester, but yeah, they have a strong social media presence, so you'll know.
Okay. And so, all right, also thinking of campus, now one thing that I'm really interested in that's just recently started is this new like female-centric radio show on Blue Gold Radio. So how long have you been working for them? And is that just a volunteer thing, or is it like is it like a job?
So I started working with Blue Gold Radio. It was known at the time, now it's known as Converge Radio.
Yeah.
We went through a big name change. It was exciting to be a part of that while it was happening. I first started working with the guys over there on a Women's History Month special playlist that they played in the month of March, and me and some members of the College Feminists put a playlist together and did voiceovers talking about feminist songs by women artists. And then at the beginning of the summer, I right when I was getting into doing next gen stuff, one of the I think assistant station manager, Lawton Menard, hit me up and he was like, hey, we would really appreciate having more female voices on our show, on our airwaves, and would love to produce a show with you sometime in the future. So I started just hosting Thursday and Friday, 1 to 3 is when I'm hosting, just playing music, talking about different art and music events in the community. And then a few weeks ago, me and Jerica Miguel, local singer-songwriter, total cool lady, got together and we started making a show called Tunes from the Womb, where we put together playlists and Jerica talks about these songs and why they're important. It's important that they're by women, and why we need to be supporting women and femme artists in the music community because they've been so marginalized for so long. So that's a really exciting thing that I've been doing. I'm a producer and a host at Converge Radio, and it's been on a volunteer basis. I have a lot of stuff going on, but so I do it when I can, and I love doing it. Another perk is I get to go to music festivals and see live music. That's one of my favorite things in the world, live music. And I love that I can combine two of my passions, music and listening to music, and combine that with feminism. And that's what me and Jerica are doing with this show.
Yeah. And that's 99.9,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Tune in. Tunes from the Womb airs Thursdays at 5, and then it re-airs Saturdays at 4.
Okay, so I have a question. Now, you are not yet graduated from the university? All right, so after that happens, do you envision yourself staying here? And what would you like to see change, or do you feel like Eau Claire is moving in a direction that better embraces the arts? And does that make you feel like you are more inclined to stay here, or do you want to take your work and just go nationally somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, I've been going to school for a really long time. I moved to Eau Claire in 2013. I took a semester off and lived at home during my sophomore year, and then I took another semester off to work as a full-time organizer. And so I'm graduating late, and now that it's finally here, I've had a lot of time to think about it, and haven't really came to a lot of concrete answers, I guess, because it's just a weird time in my life.
And everybody asks you that, right?
Yeah, and what are you doing? And my answer I want to be is just I'm just want to chill, and I would love to chill in Eau Claire for as long as I can. I'm looking for like 1-bedroom apartments for me and my cat, and like hopefully I can find a good job doing something that I love, which I think is possible in Eau Claire. Like you said, like the arts community is growing, the activist community is growing, and there's a lot of things that I think need to change, but we're electing a lot of young progressive folks to public office that are willing to put the energy in and put the work in to change those things.
And one last question, you mentioned music, so then I want to know what is like the best live show or like the best last live show?
Ooh, oh man, I mean, my first thought is the Eau Claire's Music and Art Festival. I saw Pussy Riot there, and they're one of my favorite bands, and that might have been one of the best live shows I've ever seen, period. But on a smaller scale, because I go to like all of the shows when I'm not working, and if I am working, serving, then I just like come sweaty and like tired and still stay and watch. I really love watching music at house shows in people's basements, and yeah, I can't think of like any recent ones, but I just love a good basement. Cherry House has the best shows, and the Metro, there's actually a show coming up on Friday with the Cactus Blossoms, and a really great female artist, Hema, is opening up for them. So I'm really excited for that. You can get tickets, convergeradio.com, so I'll be there. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Kessa. It's really great to know about Next Gen. And I'll see you around, I'm sure, since we crawl in the same feminist circles.
Oh, and we're neighbors.
Yes, right. This has been Wiswomen. I'm your host, Jodie Arnold. See you next time.